It's Feel Good Friday with Dr. Phil 2. It's time to fill your Friday with something good. Come on together, let's shape a new start with clarity, confidence, and purpose. It's Feel Good Friday. What's going on, everybody? It's Feel Good Friday. Listen, you got to feel good about something. Got to feel good about something that you can explain with clarity, with purpose, with direction. You've got to feel good this Friday. Listen, I feel good about this subject because it's not a subject everybody feels good about. It's about conflict. Now, not just conflict, but how do you help youth navigate conflict? I've done this mentorship series and I tried to talk to young men and young women about conflict. So one of the things I've learned is conflict is natural. It will come. It does come. And how do you learn how to deal with it? How do you learn how to navigate it? Because you've learned how to make mistakes with it. You've learned how not to address conflict. You've learned, hey, there are some things that just don't work. And at the end of the day, we have to really kind of look back and say, hey, you know what? I've been in this conflict thing for a minute. And every time I'm learning something new, I've tried to react from my emotions. I've tried to react from how I feel I should respond to this. And it just didn't turn out right. How do we help people navigate through conflict? How do you help youth navigate through conflict? I was looking at this word here. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Now, that's advice that's given from James from the Bible, right? Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. But that's not oftentimes how we process our conflict. We're kind of quick to get a hot temper. I know I have. Quick to respond instead of listening and trying to figure out where this conflict is coming from. Because a lot of times people will say, yeah, I'm mad, I'm angry, but in other words, they're hurt. So when a youth comes to you and says, I'm mad, I'm angry. I remember this lyrics, I'm vexed, fuming, I had it up to here, right? So we have that going on a lot, but how do you deal with that? Here's the reality. Be quick to listen, not quick to respond. Be quick to listen. Be quick to bring clarity to the situation. What is happening? What is this person saying? Can you really bring clarity? If you bring clarity to the situation, you might find a deeper answer. You might find a more simplistic answer. So for instance, you listen to a youth and you come into your class or they come into your room and they say, yeah, nah, I'm fine. I'm good. But what they're really saying is that they feel betrayed. They feel dismissed. They feel like nobody's listening. And in your head, hey, I'm here, I'm listening. And you want to jump to that so fast. Like, what's wrong with you? And why are you acting this way? And haven't I given you enough attention? And it may not necessarily be you, but when a person feels dismissed or when they feel betrayed, how does a person feel dismissed? It means that they're not being heard. Their anguish, their problems are not being heard. It's being dismissed. It's like, oh, well, that's just this, or it's just that. You don't worry about that. And they really want to worry about that. So a lot of times we can't resolve conflict if we don't understand the root of it. And the root of it is usually connected to our pain, fear, or pressure. Have any of you felt that way? You felt dismissed? I'm kind of looking at a program this week and I'm watching people's response to it on Facebook, and I see the conflict, and one of the things that is really the root of the problem is the feeling dismissed, feeling like the problem is not heard, and it will never be resolved. I mean, can you just imagine that you will tell people, hey, this is a problem for me, and feel like it's never going to be resolved? Yeah. This is the conflict that we're starting to see a lot. And sometimes a person will respond with, okay, let me find a solution to the problem. Or they just won't find a solution and just kind of remain dormant. They won't find a solution, and they won't get angry. They're just like, blah, meh, right? I give up. Whatever. When you start to get to that whatever, it means that discussion, if they don't feel like it's going anywhere, it's pretty much shut down. Helping youth through the process. So what can we do? Listen without launching. Yeah. Listen without launching. That's a problem for me, because I will interrupt that thought in a second. What do you mean? Are you what? No. Sometimes you have to kind of jump into yourself and say, let the person speak the whole way through. Let the person say everything they need to say. Then when they are finished speaking, then you can ask more questions for clarity. And then you can kind of give a reflective answer. Sounds like you feel disrespected. Do you think that hurt you more than you expected? And so there are some questions that you can ask. There are some things that you can process through. There's some things that you can eliminate without launching or without assuming I think that approach works a little bit better, especially if you start to ask clarity questions. Give them language that builds emotional literacy and that leads to better choices. Ask growth questions. Why did you do that? If you could do that over again, would you respond differently? Kind of shift them to a mature mindset. Say, you know what? Now that I thought about it. Yeah. And so, and everything comes from your tone. It comes from that reassurance. It comes from that safe place. And so when you usher that into the conversation, they can feel safe talking to you. Then you might get a lot more out of it. So let's talk about the bigger picture. The goal isn't to stop fights. The goal is to build resilient communicators. Yes. To build young people that can speak without screaming. Ones that can disagree without destroying. Ones that can lead out without lashing out. That happens when they start to feel heard and valued. How can you make a young person feel valued? How can you hear? And sometimes I hear them say one thing and I know exactly what they really mean. So now I have to jump into that mode of, hey, you know what? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But let's reflect on that. Let me make sure I understand what you mean. So how do you help youth get through conflict? Respond with wisdom. Come with all the wisdom that you can come with. Make it short. Don't talk them to death. Lead with compassion. Have some compassion. Even if you don't understand, even if it doesn't make sense to you, have some compassion. And the goal is raise up a generation that doesn't run from conflict, but they grow through it. They don't run from conflict, but they grow through it. I hope this is helpful for you. Maybe you're the one in conflict and you need some resolution. Well, here's the reality about conflict. It's about finding a solution. It's not about remaining in the conflict. It's not about staying angry. It's about finding ways where I give myself permission to move on, to move forward. I have a clear path, I have a clear thought, and this will not consume my life. This problem, this conflict will not consume my life. My life will be better for whatever is coming my way. This is Feel Good Friday. This is how to help you through conflict, and maybe how to help you through conflict. Until next time, keep shaping your new start, because everyone needs a new start. And that start begins with you today as you navigate conflict.
It's Feel Good Friday with Dr. Phil 2. It's time to fill your Friday with something good. Come on together, let's shape a new start with clarity, confidence, and purpose. It's Feel Good Friday.